Hare Krishna, we are so fortunate to have His Grace Mohan Vilas Prabhu from originally GEV Govardhan Eco Village, but now he's traveling to USA and now he's from Bhakti Center, New York. So I will give some brief introduction of Prabhuji. His Grace Mohan Vilas Das is a monk, sustainability leader, and teacher of Vedic philosophy at Govardhan Eco Village. He holds a bachelor degree in mechanical engineer and an MBA in finance. Before embracing monastic life, he worked in investment banking at a global bank with assignments in London and Hong Kong. In 2009, he joined monastery at ISKCON Chowpatty, Mumbai temple, and in 2010, he became part of a core development team at Gordon Eco Village, contributing to construction, finance, guest relations, and management. Currently, he leads GEV's sustainability vertical representing the Eco Village at United Nations Forum and COP climate conferences. He also oversees international study abroad programs and experimental learning courses. As a teacher of Vedic philosophy, Mohan Vilas Das shares deep insights with spiritual practitioners, corporate leaders, and students. He regularly presents the Vedic perspective on key global issues at interfaith and sustainability forums, bringing bridging ancient wisdom with contemporary challenges in environmental and social leadership. So we are so fortunate to have you, Prabhuji, on our call today. And Prabhuji is from North India, like Delhi, I guess. So you can, and we have also audience from Delhi or North India. So if you feel free, you can also speak in Hindi, Prabhuji. And let us chant three times Hari Bol and to welcome Prabhuji. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Welcome, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, everyone, for having me today. It's such a good fortune, and I'm so happy and honored to be here in the midst of all of you. Um, I'll get to know you as we connect further, but it's nice to see this Vaishnav Sangha. If somebody is okay, they can also turn on their videos so I can get some darshan. But if you're busy with your morning duties, it's fine. So we'll study today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 15. Chapter 15 is entitled Instructions for Civilized Human Beings. And we'll take shlokas 16 to 18 because 16 and 17 do not have a purport. So we'll chant the 18th verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So let's read Shloka 16. Santushtya nirihasya swatma ramasya yat sukham kutastad kamalobhena dhavato arthaya dishaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. One who is content and satisfied and who links his activities with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, residing in everyone's heart, enjoys transcendental happiness without endeavoring for his livelihood. Where is such happiness for a materialistic man who is impelled by lust and greed, and who therefore wanders in all directions, with a desire to accumulate wealth. Shloka 17. Sada santushtasya manasa sarvaha shivamaya dishaha sharkara kantakadibhyo yathopanat pada shivam. For a person who has suitable shoes on his feet, there is no danger even when he walks on pebbles and thorns. For him, everything is auspicious. Similarly, for one who is always self satisfied, there is no distress. Indeed, he feels happiness everywhere. And Shloka 18, this we can chant together, or I'll chant and then some devotees can repeat. Santushtake Navarajan Navartetapi Varina Aupasthya Jaiva Karpanyan Grihapalayate Janaha Santushtake Navarajan Navartetapi Vairina Aupasthya Jaiva Karpanyan Grihapalayate Janaha Santushtasya kena varajan navartetapi vairina aupasthya jaivya karpanyad grihapalayate janaha. Someone would like to recite?
Krishna Prabhuji, all three verses or just 18 verse?
Just the 18th one?
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Santushtaha kena varajan
Santushtaha kena varajan
varteta pivarina
navartetapi varina
upasthasya jai avya
aupasthya jaivya karpanyad
arpanyat hrudpalayate janaha.
grihapalayate janaha.
Hare
Thank you. Anyone else would like to add? Okay, so we read the synonyms. Santushtaha, a person who is always self-satisfied. Kena, why? Va, or. Rajan, king. No, not. Varteta, should live happily. Api, even. Varina, by drinking water. Aupasthya, due to the genitals. Jaivya, and the tongue. Karpanyat, because of a wretched or miserly condition. Grihapalayate, he becomes exactly like a household dog. Janaha, such a person. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. My dear King, a self-satisfied person can be happy even with only drinking water. However, one who is driven by the senses, especially by the tongue and genitals, must accept the position of a household dog to satisfy his senses. According to the Shastras, a Brahmana or a cultured person in Krishna consciousness will not enter anyone's service to maintain the body and soul together, and especially not for satisfaction of the senses. A true Brahmana is always satisfied. Even if he has nothing to eat, he can drink a little water and be satisfied. This is only a matter of practice. Unfortunately, however, no one is educated in how to be satisfied in self realization. As explained above, a devotee is always satisfied because he feels the presence of the Supersoul within the heart and thinks of him 24 hours a day. That is real satisfaction. A devotee is never driven by the dictations of the tongue and genitals, and thus he is never victimized by the laws of material nature. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adigaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to everyone. So as you can see, the theme of these verses in the instructions of Narad Muni to Yudhishthir Maharaj is that of satisfaction. Satisfaction and tolerance are the two hallmark qualities of a Brahmana. Many people are eager to claim that they are Brahmanas, but Janmana Jayate Shudro. By birth, everyone is born as a Shudra. It is not birth which entitles us with any label. What does Srila Prabhupada say? It is the training. Education and training transforms somebody from Shudra to a Brahmana, or basically some spiritual qualification. Brahmana is not just a label. Brahmana represents those who are civilized, spiritually cultured, and spiritually advanced people. So, here these verses and this chapter broadly is talking about different categories of people in society. The social categorization. If somebody has inclination to karma kand or jnana kand or upasana kand or bhakti, how are they placed in society? That is exactly what Narad Muni is explaining to Yudhishthir Maharaj. So, first thing we should understand that when we speak of Brahmana, it is a qualification. It is not a designation. So nobody should feel entitled just by birth or by diksha that they have now become a Brahmana. It should be visible in our qualities. It should be demonstrable. Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarna Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Do you have those qualities? Does your work indicate that? That will make you in one of the four social divisions of society. Right? So Srila Prabhupada says, it is by training and education that one qualifies themselves to becoming a Brahmana. Otherwise, even if somebody is born in a Brahmana family and they don't have the requisite training and qualification, they are called Brahma Bandhu or Dvija Bandhu. They are not considered Dvija. Dvija is twice born. First birth is by our biological parents. Second birth is by our spiritual teacher who gives us the training and the education. So that second birth makes one a Dvija. If we don't have that training or qualification or education, then one stays as a Brahma Bandhu, a friend of a Brahman, not a Brahman. So not everyone knows this, especially outside India. People think it's a caste system by birth. No, it's not. It's according to how the three gunas influence you. If you are predominantly influenced by sattva, that qualifies you as a Brahmana. If there are mixed modes of sattva and rajas, then that is a Kshatriya. If there are mixed modes of rajo and tamo, that's a Vaishya. And if there is predominance of tama, that is a Shudra. So this categorization is present throughout the world. It is not limited to India. People might call it by different names, but there are scholars, there are diplomats, there are entrepreneurs, and there are employees. So the idea is that our psychophysical disposition, how the three gunas are influencing us, they put us in one of these categories. And it is not a problem to be in any category from wherever we are. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Shudra Keva Noy, Yei Krishna Tattva Vete Se Guru Hoy. So it is not important what Varna we are in. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has, given us something which is beyond the Varna and the ashramas. Are you spiritually enlightened and awakened? That will qualify you from whichever Varna or ashram you come. Swadhopi sadhya shravanaya kalpate. Even if somebody is outside the Varnashram, if they are duly trained and initiated by a qualified spiritual teacher, they get the qualification of a Brahmana. So can you imagine? So this is not discrimination in society. This is just categorization of mindsets and evolution of society. So this is the first thing which, I thought is good to clarify. Who is a Brahmana? And then we know Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he presented in an assembly how a Vaishnava who is a devotee of Vishnu is even more advanced than a Brahmana. So a Brahmana is one who pursues spiritual truth. Satyam Param Dhimahi, one who has made the goal of his life to discover the absolute truth, that is a Brahmana. Amongst the Brahmanas, the best is the Vaishnava, who has surrendered to Lord Vishnu. So now that we know what we mean when we speak of Brahminical qualities, and as Vaishnavas, all of us should have these qualities of Santushti and Titiksha. Santushti means satisfaction, and Titiksha means tolerance. In today's society of greed and consumption and capitalism, it is considered you're considered primitive if you are a minimalistic, or if you stay in a farm, they think, oh, you're living a primitive life. Advancement of life means you should consume more, your life should be more complicated, and it has to be measured in terms of money. That is the version of current society. But what we are reading here is from the scriptural lens. So it is also important in whose eyes do we want to measure our success? In the eyes of the world, which is driven by capitalism and consumerism, or in the eyes of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, which teach us a Vedic culture and lifestyle. So the definition of success is very different in both of these, domains. So first we should be clear in our mind. In what paradigm do I want to be successful? So if you are interested in following the scriptures tell us to live a simple, satisfied life. So there's this beautiful story of Bali Maharaj and Vaman Dev. So Vaman Dev, who is Lord Vishnu himself, he takes the form of this dwarf Brahmana boy, again Brahmana boy, and he comes to beg in the court of Bali Maharaj. And when Bali Maharaj asks him, okay, ask what do you want? He says, I want 3 steps of land. So Bali Maharaj is practically like insulted. He said, you're coming to a king. Like you go to the president of the country and you say, give me $10. How will the president feel? Why are you wasting my time? I can give you 10 million. Ask what you really want. So Vaman Dev gives a beautiful reply at that point. He says, one who is not satisfied with whatever he or she has, can never be satisfied even if they gain supremacy over the 3 worlds. So the idea is there is no end to greed. So we are going to discuss a little bit today on satisfaction and greed. What are the advantages and disadvantages or the trade-off between satisfaction and greed? So let's read a few interesting points that Srila Prabhupada highlights from each of these shlokas. So first of all, in shloka 16, Srila Prabhupada says one should be content and satisfied. Not just that, that is sattvic. Okay, so satisfaction is in the mode of goodness. You have to add Krishna into the picture and who links his activities with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you connect to the Paramatma inside you. So there are 2 choices, 2 ways of living in this world. One is you pursue the pleasures outside, or second is you seek the bliss within. There is pleasure outside, nobody can deny. There is material pleasure, even though it might be flickering, it might be insignificant, it is still there. So either one can live a life of chasing material pleasure, or one can go inwards. Anta sukha, anta arama. This is the language of the Bhagavad Gita. In the first 6 chapters, Sri Krishna presents Nishkam Karma Yoga, or acting without greed. So he says, Arjun, those who act out of selfish interest, that is called Kamya Karma or Sakam Karma. Means it is coming out of your Kama. Kama is material desire, or you can call it lust or greed. So work done out of personal lust or greed puts us into karmic reaction because we are doing it for our self-interest. So then whatever action we do, there will be a karma phala. And then we will be stuck in that loop of action and reaction of karma and karma phala. So Shri Krishna says, just get out of this loop. There is no end to this. If you seek pleasure, you will get entrapped in this action-reaction cycle, and then you will continue to stay in samsara. And a lot of people are happy doing that. Even in this chapter, in the earlier verses, we read about Karma Kand. Karma Kand is using religion to improve your social position. Okay, I'll follow the scriptures to improve my social position. What is the best improvement of social position? To go to heaven. So I'll not indulge today, but I'll invest for the highest indulgence tomorrow. This is like investment. You have so many investment schemes. Save now, you will get 10 times more return tomorrow. That exactly in spiritual or religious context is karma kand. So I'm not indulging in my senses today. I'm restraining them so I get a superior quality of indulgence in the future. The highest culmination of which is Swarga. Yeah, because there the pleasures are of a very superior nature. And there is no sin involved in those pleasures. So, but it is still, the problem with that is even Swarga is still in the material realm, right? So we are not going beyond the samsara chakra. Abrahma bhuvanalako punaravartino arjuna. So you might go to Swarga, but you cannot stay there forever. As long as your punya karma balance is there, you will be there. As soon as it is exhausted, you will be thrown back into the material realm in this earthly planet. So that's like, going to a club. And till the time you have balance in your credit card, you can enjoy, so-called enjoy. But it is not everlasting. So Bhagavad Gita says, those who are intelligent, they are not interested in temporary pleasures, flickering pleasures. They say, I'm done with this. I have seen pleasures which have a beginning and an end. Give me something substantial. Give me something that is sustainable. What is that? That can be found, that is Anta Sukha, or the bliss of the soul in connection with the super soul. So the highest happiness available is in connecting to Krishna. So that is what Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Don't seek pleasure outside, seek bliss inside. When do you achieve bliss? Because when you connect to Paramatma, Paramatma is of the nature of Sat Chit Anand. We are also of the nature of Sat Chit Anand, but now it is covered by Maya. So when we connect to Krishna and remove our covering of Maya, Cheto Darpana Marjana, we are re-established in our Swarupa. What is that Swarupa? Sat Chit Anand. So only in connection with Krishna can we experience that Ananda. So we are not saying that be satisfied and suffer in this world. No. Sri Krishna is offering a higher grade of bliss. He says, what will you gain with these temporary material pleasures? Connect to me and I'll give you everlasting bliss. And this is not something abstract or theoretical. There are numerous examples in history and in the present of devotees who are in connection with Krishna and they are experiencing so much bliss and joy within, and they are sharing it with the world. So, what is the approach? Link all your activities to Krishna. Brahmani adaya karmani. Offer your activities to Krishna. Do it for Krishna. So there are two ways to work in this world. One is to work on your own account. If you work on your account, on your own account, then you will get reaction. Whereas if you work for Krishna, because Krishna has no karma, then there is no reaction to your karma. Everything becomes spiritualized. So when we act according to the divine will, we act on behalf of Krishna for the pleasure of Krishna. Krishnera priti vancha ei bole. That is the definition of prema. So that is what Narad Muni is telling. Be satisfied and connect yourself to Paramatma and experience the bliss within. Then you don't have to chase your desires like a materialistic person who is just pushed by greed and lust. Jivera lalasa yei iti utidhai, Shishnodhar parayana Krishna nahi paye. So if we lead a life of chasing material pleasures, of our senses, we'll just spend all our energy in doing that. Krishna nahi paye. We will not get Krishna. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, who become serious in the spiritual path. Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam. So those who are attached to bhoga, sensual enjoyment, and aishwarya, opulence, they will never develop a strong resolve to do devotional service. Why? Because their faith, because their attention, and because their attachment is somewhere else. We are not investing our faith in Krishna, we are investing it in objects of this world. When there is a difficulty, who do we look up to? Do we look up to our resources, our connections, our abilities, our intelligence? Or do we take shelter of Krishna's devotees and Krishna? So the idea is, if we are not satisfied and we, out of greed, we chase material objects, they will become our shelter and not Krishna. So there is no problem with material objects. So we are not demonizing the material world. We are demonizing greed and lust. That is the problem. So don't think that devotees should not operate in society, should not be ambitious and impactful. You can. The idea is, are you impelled by greed and lust, or are you doing it for Swadharma? Are you doing it as an offering to Krishna? Because as we discussed, there are two very different things. So santushti or satisfaction will keep the focus on Krishna. Whatever happens in life, we know we have to take shelter of Krishna. If we put faith in anything else, it could be things or people of this world or the devatas or the rituals. The point is, the focus will shift from Krishna to something else. And that is contamination of Shraddha. Shraddha Shabde Vishwase kahe Sudrida Nishchay Krishna Bhakti koile sarva karma krita hoy. So Shraddha is defined as the firm conviction that just by doing Krishna Bhakti, all my obligations and responsibilities are taken care of. So primarily a devotee is interested in one's devotional activities. And secondarily, there are social responsibilities. Why? Because the focus remains on Krishna. Krishna remains our shelter. Krishna remains our ashraya. That is the problem. So if you are satisfied, you don't have to chase, you are not dependent. That's why a Brahmana is independent. As soon as you are dependent on someone, you cannot be truthful, you cannot be objective. There are social pressures and obligations. If somebody has sponsored you, you cannot complain about them. You cannot correct them. So a Brahmana is supposed to, especially like a spiritual leader, is supposed to be neutral. How can you remain neutral if you are independent? Independent means you are self-satisfied. Not that somebody can bribe you and buy you. So that is the power of satisfaction. Don't think it is a weakness. It is a strength. Nobody can touch you if you are self-satisfied. Nobody can manipulate you. So in the next verse, Narad Muni gives the example of shoes. If you wear suitable shoes, there is no danger. So this world may be full of dangers. Padam padam vyad vipadam. But somebody who has the right attitude, the right principles, the right value system, they don't need to be afraid of anything. If you have gone for a hike, if you don't wear the right hiking shoes, there is the danger of slipping and falling. Similarly, here, shoes are compared to satisfaction. If somebody is satisfied, there will be, for them, everything is auspicious. Shiva Maya. So, in any circumstances, in any situation, if you want to be satisfied and content and fulfilled and happy, what is the key? Key is to be satisfied. And finally, in the 18th verse, Narad Muni is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, you can be happy even by only drinking water. Now, it might seem very high to us, but what does Srila Prabhupada say here? Very sweetly, Srila Prabhupada says it's only a matter of practice. So we have not been trained like that. Therefore, we feel, oh, how is it possible? It is impossible. What is the purpose of fasting on Ekadashis and other important days? It is to give you an idea when you do a Nirjal fast, for example. You realize that, oh, I could survive the whole day without eating so much. That means on other days I'm overeating. So to make you aware about your excesses in life, there is requirement of fasting. Fasting is tapa. So if we don't undertake voluntary austerities, we will never know how much excesses are there in our life. We will think this is normal. To have 50 pairs of shoes is normal. To have 100 sets of clothes is normal. No, it is not normal. Try to live simply, and then you will see the burden of excesses that we are carrying. And in today's environment, everyone is talking about this. It's also good for the environment that we don't be wasteful. So the main thing is education and training. If we know what is right and if we start practicing it, we can be satisfied even by simply drinking water. The idea is not to make us starve. We are not tapasvis, we are bhaktas. The idea is that, so there are two levels of, we work for two reasons, either for sense gratification, that is excess, or for maintenance. Just to keep our body and soul together, also we need to work. Sri Krishna says, you cannot be inactive in this world, you have to act. It is the nature of the soul to be active. Even to maintain your body, you have to act. So don't run away from the battlefield, Arjun. So the idea is, work you have to do. Inaction is not an option because inaction is also equally sinful. So how should we act? We should act in the spirit of yajna. Whatever we do, we should remember Krishna and do it as an offering to Krishna. Idam Krishnaya, idam na mama. This is for you, Krishna. This is not for me. Bhagavad Gita says, however advanced somebody is, three things should never be stopped in life. Yajna, which is, acting in a spirit of sacrifice or duty, not for selfishness. Yajna, dan, charity. Learn to part with what you have. It might be painful, but it'll make you stronger spiritually. It'll make you more purified. It'll make you more detached. Yajna, dana, and tapa. Tapa is the austerity, like Ekadashi, we have seen. So the problem is, why do we find all of this unpalatable? Because we think wealth is everything, artha. But artha is not material wealth. People who have the most material wealth, they are also having so much anxiety and misery. Prahlad Maharaj says, Nate vidu swarth gatim hi Vishnuhu. That people don't realize that their actual swarth is Vishnu. Our real self-interest is to connect and serve Vishnu. That we have forgotten. We think our swarth is to give pleasure to this material body. So therefore we invest in a material identity. But it is not going to lead us to any satisfaction. And further here, Srila Prabhupada says, oh, you can act for maintaining your body. That's fine, because body is also a vehicle. We should not go on the other extreme and say, I'll be in practicing santushti, I'll fast. You don't have any right to give trouble to the body also, because body is like a temple of Krishna. So as much as is required to maintain it, care for your body, your life, your family as a temple of Krishna, as a means through which you serve Krishna. So we have to take care of that. So it's okay to act for maintenance, but not for extravagance or indulgence. So the idea is, one should always be satisfied. Srila Prabhupada says, unfortunately, however, no one is educated in how to be satisfied in self-realization. So yeah, that's what we will discuss, that satisfaction lies within, in connection with Krishna. So those who are not trying to connect to Krishna, for them, satisfaction, simplicity, this will not make sense because they don't have a higher taste. So it is possible only for a devotee. Now that you have shelter and ananda, unlimited bliss in your connection with Krishna, from that platform, one can practice santushti and titiksha. So, what is real satisfaction? Srila Prabhupada says, to feel the presence of the Super Soul within your heart and think of Him 24 hours a day. So, we are not tapasvis that we fast or we do austerities. That is not the understanding of satisfaction. The idea is, you don't waste your time in mundane material activities. You do what is necessary, but you focus, your primary goal is to serve Krishna. So you remember Krishna 24 hours a day. That is the highest form of satisfaction. Who can do that? Somebody who is not agitated by greed or lust. Otherwise, we start remembering Krishna and then we are disturbed. No, I want this. I want that. Have I taken care of this? What if this happens? All of this comes out of fear and greed. So Bhagavad Gita says that these are the gates to hell: greed, lust, and envy. So we should not. Basically, spiritual life is to overcome our anarthas and connect to the divine. So there's a beautiful verse in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagvatam, which says that only those who are self-satisfied can absorb themselves in Krishna 24 hours a day. It goes as it is. This is 10th canto, first chapter, 4th shloka. Nivrittatarsher upagiyamanat bhavakshadachrota manobhiramat kauttama gunanuvadat puna puman vrajeta vinapashukna. That glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the Parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from the spiritual master to the disciple. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Who relishes this Shravanam Kirtanam? Have you ever thought or complained that I don't have any taste in Krishna Katha or Kirtan? The problem is we might have the disease of greed. The shlok further says, such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in false temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Till the time you have hope in the material world, this can give me pleasure, this can protect me. Till that time, we actually cannot truly relish Krishna Katha, or nor can we truly take shelter of Krishna, because we have hope and faith here, not in Krishna. But what is the solution? Yeah, we don't have the taste, but Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu is also the only medicine. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. So the medicine is also Shravanam, Kirtanam. As we keep doing it, when our disease of greed and lust and envy starts to go away, the same thing which appeared bitter will now start to taste sweet. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord? Who will not do Krishna Katha and Kirtan? Except a butcher. Butcher means, or one who is killing his own self. So, except for Atmaha, somebody who's, attempting suicide, those who don't know one's self-interest, everyone else will take shelter of Krishna Katha and Krishna Kirtan. So this is a beautiful section from Teachings of Narad Muni to Yudhishthira Maharaj in the 7th canto. So we thought we'll share these lessons. If anyone has any questions or comments, please share.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Geeta. Thank you so much for this wonderful class. Very, very informative. Prabhuji, can you please just go over the combinations of the three gunas? What makes when you have rajas and tamas, the
Right.
different combinations lead to what, like a brahman, a shudra. Can you just, if you don't mind, go over that?
Sure.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sure. So one who is predominantly under the Sattva Guna, they are of the nature of Brahmana. So Brahmana is not a category, it's a nature, it's a mentality. So what is Brahmanical mentality? It is those who are under Sattva Guna, they demonstrate an interest in knowledge and satisfaction. These are the two hallmark qualities of a Brahmana. wisdom, and satisfaction. If somebody is under little bit of sattva guna, but predominantly rajo, that is a kshatriya mentality. They are driven to accomplishment. They are driven by action, competition. And it's good if they engage that in establishing a peaceful and just society. So wherever there is injustice, the Kshatriyas jump into action. The Brahmana may be forgiven, but a Kshatriya will say, no, justice has to be delivered. Punishment has to be given to establish peace in society. So that is the mixed modes of Sattva and Rajo. Vaishya, the third category, is the mixed gunas of Rajo and Tamo, passion and ignorance. So if Sattva is characterized by knowledge and satisfaction and happiness, Rajo is characterized by action and achievement and competition. Tamo, Tamo is defined as the absence of both Sattva and Rajo. So somebody in Tamo will have neither wisdom, that means they'll not have knowledge, neither will they have a drive for action. So what does that? Such a person become lazy, critical, complaining, not doing anything but only cribbing and complaining. That's the nature of tamoguna. So Vaishya is predominantly Rajo and some Tamo. A Shudra is predominantly in Tamo. So these are the four Varnas, and we can see what is the disposition of each. A Brahmana fights ignorance. They pursue knowledge and they share knowledge. So they fight ignorance. Why Kshatriyas fight injustice? They cannot tolerate injustice. They are responsible for protection of society. So Kshatriyas fight injustice. Vaishyas fight inequality. Vaishyas are entrepreneurs. How can I create value? How can I create wealth? So that the inequity in society is reduced. So they fight inequality. And Shudras, because they are under the influence of Tamo, they have to fight indolence. Indolence is laziness or lethargy. How can they do that? By aligning to one of the other three. That, okay, I don't have understanding, I don't have the drive, but I'll support you. So this is how the four Varnas are driven. I hope that helps.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very much. Hare Krishna.
Don't try to fit yourself in one of these, because in Kali Yuga, everyone is a Shudra. Kalau Shudra Sambhava, because everything has gone topsy-turvy. Systems in society have not been maintained according to Vedic culture. So it's very difficult to say I am a Brahmana or I am a Vaishya, therefore I can chastise other devotees. No, that is not a license. First we are Vaishnavas, then we might be a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And that also we are not sure. So better to keep the benchmark as a Vaishnava. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. So, but we
Thank
can
you.
move from one to the other, right? Within a lifespan.
Yeah. The modes are chapters, the chapter on the three gunas in Bhagavad Gita. It says that the three gunas are always in competition with each other. So Sattva is trying to push Rajas and Tamas. Rajas is trying to push Sattva and Tamas. So they are always in a flux. So depending on the wisdom that you gain, the spiritual practice that you take, the association that you keep, the sadhana that you do, you can definitely change the modes that influence you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class and for so many reminders. Prabhuji, I was thinking we are constantly making a choice, right? Because when we are living in this world, when you were talking about sustenance, we have to sustain our,
our material lives. So you have to work. So when we go out and work, we have a limited choice in terms of your association. So in my personal experience, I've always noticed that whenever I choose to associate with devotees, I'm attending like lectures or things like that,
Right.
I'm able to savor and I'm able to appreciate the Krishna Katha more. But that is not an option when you're associating with your mundane relationships. So my question is, Prabhu, how do you continue making that choice? Because sometimes I feel it's like a loop. Like if you don't make the right choice, you start getting attracted, and then you start making the wrong choices, and then
True.
you stay happy in those wrong choices until again you get an association and you are like, oh, what was I doing all these days? I should not have been doing that. So there's only so much you can do in terms of not associating with worldly people, so to say. But uh, how do we prioritize and seek association of sadhus, and how do we prioritize sadhu sangha, basically?
Right. No, that's a very good and practical question. So, yeah, I mean, that's the practical reality for 99% of us, that, we have to live in this world and there is nothing wrong in that. In fact, this idea of quitting the world is not encouraged anywhere. So, Prahlad Maharaj teaches that you should be in this world, but not of this world, like a lotus. A lotus is in filth, but it is not affected by filth. So, when we take sadhu sangha, we do bhajan, we do seva. That is our kavacha. It's like you go to a gas station, you fill in gas. That is what you're doing when you're taking association of devotees, when you are chanting. So that is your fuel for you to do other things that are necessary. So whenever you go to a yatra, you don't, you come back with that inspiration in your heart. And okay, now I'm protected, I'm inspired to do whatever else is necessary. There is a beautiful story. I think, we might have heard this in our school, that there was a crocodile and a monkey, and they were good friends. Have you heard this? So somehow they happened to be good friends and they used to share. The monkey used to give fruits to the crocodile, and the crocodile used to also share some things with the monkey, and they became good friends. One day, when the crocodile went home and told his wife about this friend monkey he has, his wife said, "What? Are you crazy? We don't become friends with monkey. Monkeys are our food." And actually, the heart of a monkey is very delicious. So next time you bring your friend, and he will become our dinner. So now the crocodile went back to the shore and he saw the monkey on the tree. He said, "My wife is inviting you over for dinner." He didn't tell him that you are the dinner. So the monkey jumped on the back of the crocodile innocently. And then they started going in the river. Midway, the crocodile blurted out the truth that actually my wife wants to eat you. So he said, "Oh, really? Why didn't you tell me before? I left my heart on the tree. So let's go back and quickly grab my heart so that your wife and you can savor it." And as soon as they go back closer to the shore, you know what happened. The monkey jumps back to the tree and never comes back. So the idea is we engage in this world, but our heart should not be brought into that. We don't take association. We are there to do what's necessary, our social responsibilities. In fact, if you have an opportunity, you should give association. So we have our circles. We have our circle of intimate devotees and friends and family. And then we have the bigger circle of colleagues, and then a broader circle of strangers. So we should know how to deal differently with each of them. So towards Krishna, we should have love. Towards devotees, we should have friendship. Towards those who are innocent, we should have compassion. And towards those who are envious, we should have We should just keep distance. So Prahlad Maharaj says, this is the way to be happy in this world. So we have to be, practical, how much ever the environment, the circumstances allow us, we should take in or not. Does that help?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I
Yeah.
really like the example of the story that you gave us.
Yeah. Keep that in mind.
Yes, yes. Hare
Because
Krishna.
we never realize how quickly we start to get influenced by the outside world, by materialistic influence. People are not the problem. The materialistic, mundane mindset is the problem. So if there are people who are evolved, it's good to, connect and have friendships with them.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, it was a very nice story you told. So I'm hoping, based on my question answer, I will be able to hear some more good stories. Hare Krishna. So, yeah, Prabhuji, like, Prabhuji, actually, uh, whether it is a material or spiritual world, we overcome or we come across the maybe a devotee or non-devotee, the people who think like, I'm senior, I am, Brahmana. You gave such nice examples of that also. Like, if those qualities are not there, then one cannot be a Brahmana. So, Brahmana has to be by quality in itself. So,
Correct.
yeah. So, whether it is a spiritual or material world, so how to overcome, uh, like, how would you please explain this, to overcome all these
Yeah.
anarthas,
So
I can say. Like, it
sure,
can be
Prabhuji.
anarthas.
The problem is material attachment. So material attachments can be present in material circles, and material attachments can also be found in spiritual circles. The idea is, are we carrying material attachments and anarthas? If we bring that to a spiritual society, we'll contaminate the spiritual society also. So therefore, therefore Srila Prabhupada says, purity is the force. The first and the foremost way in which you can contribute to society and community is you become more purer. When you have purity, you will have the force to create impact. So we start with ourselves. We start with removing the covering of anarthas from us, Chetodarpanam Arjuna. So that is the first and the best way to overcome this. Our chanting should be sincere. Whatever we are doing in our sadhana and Shravanam Kirtanam, we should honestly pray to Krishna, please, only you can remove these anarthas. Otherwise, there is no hope for me. And Krishna does that for his devotees. He says, Tesham aham anukampartham. Shri Krishna is very compassionate for those who offer love and surrender to him. So Shri Krishna will take care. We have to demonstrate to Krishna that we are having faith and love for him. And then we should try to become pure in our motivations and our service attitude. And simplicity also means no duplicity. That in Vaishnav society, we should not, we should be very simple. Saralata, ei Vaishnavata. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, simplicity. You speak what you mean. Don't have a duplicitous nature. That is what makes us a Vaishnava. So let us try to practice saralata, simplicity, satisfaction, tolerance. And Krishna will definitely help us. You reminded me of another story that, a person comes to visit a sage in a cave, a Baba. He said, Baba, you have given up everything of this world. You're staying in this cave, you've given up all worldly connections and objects. How were you able to renounce all of this? So the sage replied, that I was there. I tried to become happy in that material circumstances, but in chasing material objects, there was so much misery and so much anxiety. So I decided to renounce that. So I have renounced anxiety and misery, and now I have accepted bliss. How are you so renounced, oh person, that you have renounced bliss and you are embracing misery and anxiety? So all of us are renounced. What have we renounced? That is the question. Have we renounced the bliss inside, or have we renounced the anxieties and miseries of material existence? So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, and I can add a few more things into that what I
Sure.
asked just now. Like someone gets angry immediately, like, or maybe have a desire like, why you guys are not doing this for me, or something like, as you mentioned, about self-oriented. I'm saying, like, as you mentioned, you know, uh,
Hmm.
you mentioned just now about. Uh, I don't remember.
Selfish and self-interested.
Yeah, self-interest. Yeah. So that was, yeah, maybe those things.
Sakam.
Yeah. So apart from like, one, if one is not like your self-attachments, yeah, that word I was trying to
Hmm.
think. Self-attachments, uh, away from the spiritual attachments, then I think these things are very easily to come. Yeah, that's right, probably. Yeah.
Correct. And before that, we have to first connect to Krishna.
Mm.
And then it becomes easier to disconnect from matter.
So yeah, that
Yeah.
this will definitely help us to, the class
Sure,
was
sure.
really nice, probably. It gave lights on each dots connecting together. So it will help us to, we have sangha, so it, definitely give us the path and some light to, you know go through all the
Sure, Prabhu.
positives and negatives. Yeah, thank you so much,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
thank you for coming here.
Thank you. It was so nice to meet you and be in all of your association. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah,
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
My
Yes,
Danat Pranam
Mataji.
to you. Shri Prabhat ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. So I was just waiting to send my appreciation for the wonderful class. This is Rupini Padma Devi Dasi from Orlando, Florida. Otherwise,
Hare
I'm
Krishna, Mataji.
From Delhi and from here, actually, both places now, because I'm like
Nice,
traveling.
nice.
Yeah, and I really like that point about the fasting, that, the whole day when we don't eat, you said,
Correct.
what happens is that, you realize how much we eat.
True.
So, but in regard to that, I have wanted to ask a question so I can motivate myself by
Mm-hmm.
by actually really fasting. And because my health issue is not there, I can actually fast. But what happens is,
Mm.
okay, we'll take Ekadashi, we'll eat something. That's the idea. So that thought is so predominant in the mind that, like, yes, I am fasting, I'm for Janmashtami, I'm fasting, but I'm taking Ekadashi. So I'm not doing like
Mm.
not eating anything till 12 o'clock, or, whatever fruits or juice only and things like that. Like Ekadashi comes so often that Ekadashi
Mm.
has become, I'm talking about myself, Ekadashi has become all Ekadashis on all occasions now.
Mm.
On the, like, so, and my mind is always like fighting with me and telling me that, like how Bhagavad Gita says, the mind is like an enemy. It says
Mm.
that, it's your Krishna's birthday is there. So why will you trouble yourself? You should be happy and eating, even if it's Ekadashi. I mean, why will your Krishna, such a big supreme personality of Godhead, continuously his mind is chattering with me and not letting me do, which I used to do earlier. So my question
Right.
is like, why? And now see, I'm asking a question which my mind is telling me. The mind is saying that, I've also got influenced by the mind. So the mind is saying that, now I'm saying this because I'm already influenced now. that when it's some Acha Tithi, like Narshika Chaturdashi is coming, so people will, fast till dusk time. So why, does that make Lord happy that we are starving? Why does it happen? And also linked to this is it linked to some purity factor? Because when we got initiated, I remember that my initiation time was, my Guru Maharaj is Jayapataka Guru Maharaj. It got delayed from 11 to 4 o'clock. So that time we had to take a bath, wear new clothes, and sit at the mandap kind of place where initiation took place. And I had not known again because I'm not a fasting person. Although everybody has the weaknesses in spiritual life practices. So I was like starving literally. 4:30. I was just waiting for everything to get over, and then I ate. Like in the evening that day. So it was a complete fast. So that time somebody said, well, it's you're going through a purification process. So in that purification, you don't eat anything, just like the pujaris and all when they come and do DT seva, their mouth has to be clean. And even if you go to the bathroom, everything is connected to purity when it comes to, doing devotional service. And then that is very much closely linked to austerity, right? So, but
Right.
I want to know an answer from the point of view what Shastra says, that what does Krishna expect us to do? I mean, is he happy that we are, because then sometimes devotee will say, oh, you know what, services are more important. And, services are more important. It's better to eat and then do seva. Then, just keep growling and, like, oh, I haven't eaten and my mouth is dry and this and that. So, if you can answer that question, sorry, but it was very
Right.
elaborated. And also, I wanted to also put in a point forward. Mataji asked a question that I'm always falling into that boat because, my husband is very supportive, but he's not devotee of like Krishna. So, but he's very supportive to all of us, me and my daughters. So, and then time and again, I have to go to India. My mother, she's also not like purely following. So I keep falling into that thing. But what happens is, I trail myself very strongly. When I come back, I'll just throw myself in the association of devotees. And when I'm with non-devotees, or when I'm in that situation where the devotees are not there, and then when I come and see the devotees, I value devotees more. And I start thinking, oh my God, they've been like past 3 months I've not been with them. And look at them, and they are like, let me jud jao, patapat, let me, last Sunday I told Mataji, I have to make cake. You're not giving me the order to make cake. How come? Because I make cake in the temple. So she's okay, make it.
Nice.
I quickly grab the devotees and I tell them, Matajis, and tell them that, like just give me seva, whatever is needed, this, that. And then again, I go into the material thing, and then again, I'm unhappy. Yeah, and it's unhappiness only. There's no happiness. But the thing is, sometimes, you have to go to India, sell your property, you have to do this, deal with
Yeah,
10
yeah.
people, like job, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
even to to serve in a temple construction, you think we
yeah,
deal with devotees? No, we have to deal with everyone.
yes,
So
yes,
even
yes.
in doing
All,
our seva, we have to deal with everyone.
yes, yes,
We
yes.
Thank you for asking on behalf of everyone, actually.
No, that
All of
Mataji
us,
asked
we.
me, na, so I just had some points to give because I'm in that boat many times. I know next time I have to go to Delhi. I'm in the same boat again. So my thing is going to be chanting in the morning, reading,
Hmm.
personal reading, going on Sunday or maybe some other day to the Shri Shri Radha Partha Sati temple, and then going to Vrindavan for sure. That I put a clause in my family that if I'm going to there, I have to go to Vrindavan. There is no other way that I'm coming back to USA, like things like that. I mean, literally
Correct.
force myself on the family. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
because they're not interested to go every Sunday, they're not interested to go to the dham, they're not interested in so
Right.
many things. So yeah, Prabhuji. So on both the aspects and also fasting, if you can shed some thoughts. And I asked you this question because I really found you very qualified. Your class was wonderful. And so much nicely you spoke. And I was actually, it's amazing how Krishna fulfills our desire. In the morning, I was thinking, I've not heard a story on the conference call. I haven't heard any story. And then when you said the story, I said, okay. So see, I'm connected to Krishna. And now Krishna is fulfilling all my small and big desires. I have to, stick on my boat, to anchor. Yeah. So just wanted to say that.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji, you can go ahead
Right.
now. Hare Krishna.
Sure. No, thank you for sharing your heart and presenting these challenges which we all face. It's not that we are beyond this. I'll answer briefly because it's we are a little towards on the overdue side of time. Uh, Few things. Krishna doesn't want to see us suffer. Krishna wants to see us happy. But happy in our whimsical desires or happy in our eventual destination. Shri Krishna is not like a shopkeeper who will give anything that you come to purchase. A child comes to a shopkeeper, you pay, and the shopkeeper will give you whatever you want, even if it's harmful for the child. But a parent will not do that. So when somebody goes to Krishna with material desires, Krishna says, okay, akama sarva kamava moksha kama udaridi tivrena bhakti yogena yajet purusham param. It's fine. Krishna does not see material desires as a disqualification. So we cannot say, oh, you cannot become a devotee because you have material desires. No, then what is the point? What is the potency of devotional service? Shri Krishna says, Swa charanamrita diba vishayi bhulaibo. Krishna, when we connect to Krishna, Krishna gives us the nectar of his lotus feet and makes us forget Vishaya. Vishaya is poison or material objects. So without a higher taste, we cannot give up something that is lower. So Vishaya to be given up, first we have to seek the nectar, Charnamrit, and that is through connection with Krishna. So Krishna definitely does not like to see us suffer, but like a parent would want to see a child first become healthy and then become happy. So Srila Prabhupada writes in Upadeshamrit, currently we have very high fever. So first job is to bring the fever down. Therefore, there are some regulations. The yam and niyama, the do's and don'ts of scripture are to first bring our fever down, to bring us from a diseased condition to a healthy condition. So fasting helps there. It helps us become less diseased. It's not that Krishna likes to see us fasting, but he sees that this is making us healthier. This is helping our purification. So we should, all of us, it applies to us in different ways according to our time, place, circumstance, according to our adhikar. So there cannot be one solution that fits all. The idea is even when we fast, the focus should be on Krishna. Madhava Tithi Bhakti Janani. Ekadashi is called Madhav Tithi. Krishna is very fair. He loves Madhav Tithi. He loves Ekadashi. So whatever you offer to Krishna at that time, Krishna is very pleased. So through your tapas, you are offering actually your preeti. You're not just suffering pointlessly. You're offering your devotion. Love is sacrifice. If you love someone, you are ready to sacrifice for them. That is what Krishna wants to see. How does this devotee offer their preeti to me? And there's so many ways to do it. Fasting is one of them. And scriptures tell us we are encouraged to practice fasting on Ekadashi and other Janmatithis of Acharyas and avatars and Sri Krishna himself. So with that, we should take as a vidhi. Scriptures tell it, so I'll do it. I'll not listen to my mind because the mind can convince us of anything. If you're going to a feast, the mind will say, oh, this pakoda is very nice. Take 5 more. This sweet is very nice. Take 3 more. At night, when you're not able to sleep because of indigestion, the same mind will flip and will say, who told you to eat so much? So mind is not the best guru. Therefore, we should not get convinced by the mind. We should, in fact, listen to Guru Sadhu Shastra. And this is about Ekadashi and fasting, the spirit of tapas. That is voluntary austerity for purification and self realization. If you don't do voluntary austerity, then there will be tapa, miseries of this world. So that is the journey we all have to take according to the circumstances we are in. So that is, I think, briefly to address your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for this nectarian class and wonderful answer to like tapa and we have to discriminate between and understand what is the importance of doing Ekadashi. So Rashmi Mataji has one question, Prabhuji. Is that okay if she can ask, right? And last question.
I'm okay. I thought it's very late for all of you.
No, we are okay, Prabhuji. We thought you are late. Yeah, so please
No,
go
it's
ahead,
okay.
Rashmi Mataji. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
for the wonderful class. It was really awesome. And actually, I was, as a working person, I think already one of our Sangha devotees asked a question regarding all the balance. I just wanted to kind of connect to the same thing and wanted to say that in today's world, when you're working, you cannot be in an autopilot mode. You cannot be passive. You have to show initiative. You have to take more
Right,
responsibility. You have to
right.
do those things, right? And you mentioned that you can be spiritual at the same time. You can have ambition and have an impact. So I was wondering how both, because I think they are kind of opposites to each other. I mean, I do understand you saying that you have to keep your mind detached or and those things, but it's a journey. I don't think, at least I'm not there. It's you get involved and invested in things you spend your
Mm,
time in.
right.
So I was just trying to understand your perspective on the sentence you said.
Sure, sure. See, it's the mindset with which we do things. Krishna says, don't do things out of sakam karma. If you do kamya karma, you are implicated. But if you do yagyartha karma is acting in a spirit of sacrifice to the Supreme or acting in a spirit of devotion for the Supreme. So if Arjuna is fighting, Arjuna is killing in a spirit of devotion, that is perfect. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, when will that day be when devotees become justices in courts? So, idea is with a devotional heart, how can we create a social impact? Because the world needs more of kind-hearted, devotional-hearted people in positions of power, in positions of impact. We are not chasing power for the sake of power itself. We are saying if devotees are in good positions tomorrow, it's so much easier to, share these teachings and these beautiful values with society. So that is the reason where, I'm not talking of personal ambition. I'm talking of impact to society. Impact to society which is aligned with the divine will. So that is the best way a devotee can serve. So, even you can engage your profession in service of Krishna. It's not always directly possible, but definitely, you can have a network of influential people you can then share this message with. So there are so many ways to do it depending on one's unique position in society. You have the advantage of being within an active member, deeply connected to society. So that's a perfect place to start a positive change in this world, right? In that spirit, you know, ambition aligned to the divine will, that is encouraged. I'm not talking of personal greed and status. That anyways comes under sakam karma, which is free of ego. That's the passion or ambition which we are talking about.
Thank you,
All
Prabhuji. It is
saints,
very. Sorry, go ahead.
all saints have compassion. Compassion is more powerful than passion. So is compassion not an ambition? I'll share this. Why did Prabhupada come to the West? Compassion. That is also a spiritual ambition. So let's spiritualize our ambition rather than giving up our ambition altogether.
Prabhuji, that's a very profound message. It is packed with lot of things. I think I'll have to think over it a lot,
Yeah,
how to kind of apply it to our life, because I mean, my life personally, as
correct.
to how can those things work together.
Sure. This has to be done, in consultation with your spiritual guide who knows you well, who knows your strengths and weaknesses. They will be in a perfect position to guide you in this.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. So two more devotees have question. Vamasi Vilas Prabhu and Partha Prabhu. You have
Yes,
time?
Prabhuji. Yes,
And
Mataji, we
Yes.
can briefly
one
take.
minute, Prabhuji. So
Huh.
yesterday, Geeta Mataji, for the Akshay Tritiya auspicious day, Geeta Mataji, who is on our call, regular devotee, she got a Bhagvatam set. So
Hari Bol.
let's say Hari Bol to her. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
Haribol.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Gita
Mataji, to
Mataji.
you for motivating me.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Thank
Bol.
you.
Please go ahead. If anybody needs
Yes.
Bhagavatam said, please let me know. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So please go ahead, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Sorry.
Yes. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class. Your conviction and your lecture is so amazing. How you are very grounded on the principles and very clear, and make it so easy for us. Prabhuji, my question is regarding satisfaction, the topic for today's class. And we know we have to be materially satisfied, but we also know that we should never be spiritually satisfied. So we have a sattvika
Yeah,
buddhi and we need a spiritual greed, laulyam, to not be complacent. So Prabhuji,
correct,
how can we have these both mentalities, to have greed in one side and have no greed in the other
correct,
side? Thank you, Prabhuji.
correct. Sure. Very good. Yeah, thank you for bringing up that point, bro. So, as much as greed is discouraged in material setting, that much spiritual greed is celebrated. In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, see again, it depends on qualification. If somebody is already detached with matter, then they have to start attaching themselves to the divine. So Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu says, Laulyam api ekamulyam. Greed to get Krishna Prem is the only qualification to get Krishna Prem. So in spiritual circle, in spiritual, in connection to spiritual things, greed is good. In fact, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, if you know who you really are, if you know the true self, that I am the Atman, not the Deha or the Mana, not the body or mind, I am the pure spirit soul. If you know the real self, it is good to be selfish because now you will act in the interest of the soul. So once you know that, so that comes after self-realization. So after self-realization, it is good to be greedy. But now, so this happens simultaneously. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Srila Prabhupada you mentions this in Ishopanishad. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in spiritual life, first, there is a greater proportion of material activities and a smaller proportion of spiritual activities. But as a devotee makes progress, the proportion of material activities keeps on reducing and the proportion of spiritual activities keeps on increasing. So we have to simultaneously do both, detach from matter and attach to Krishna. They have to go hand in hand. Thank you for bringing it up. Very good point, bro. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's the
Wonderful.
difference. Yeah.
Hare Krishna
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Parth
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. It was
Jai
such a
Shri.
nice class. You clarified so many things with your elucidation, with anecdotes, stories. It was so relishable. I have one question regarding Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. So, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, Mayava Mana Adhasva, those steps, right?
Correct.
Maya
Correct.
Mana Adhasva, my Buddhi Nivasisma, Auto Udams, Autojet Ahankar, my Stiram, Abhasan. So, Krishna says step by step. So,
Correct.
my question is, I'm trying to keep these two things side by side. One is the Sarvakarma Kaila Kirtahai and Krishna's
Hmm.
step by step. So, if somebody is saying, somebody is simply doing bhajan, and will his material needs be satisfied?
Okay. Sure, Prabhuji. I understand. So it is not, it doesn't mean that we do bhajan and neglect everything else. It is saying that faith is in bhajan while they do everything else. You get it? My advancement, my nourishment, my shelter will come from Krishna Bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. It will not come from my social responsibilities. It's not saying that I do only Krishna bhajan and give up everything else. It's saying your Shraddha should be that my nourishment and my advancement is in Krishna Bhakti. And then I do everything else. Krishna Bhakti koila sarva karma krito. I don't separately have to serve the devatas separately, have to care for other rituals, not required. You are watering the root of the tree, the whole tree will be nourished. So the idea is, it's talking about faith. Where is your faith? So Prithu Maharaj and even these big kings, they had huge social responsibilities, kingly responsibilities that they would sometimes delegate. Okay, ministers, you take care of administration of the kingdom. But bhajan, they would do personally. So it is saying that our Shraddha should be in Krishna Bhakti while we continue to do whatever else is necessary. It's not meaning to say that we do only Krishna bhajan. Oh, yeah, that's okay, bro.
So the Krishna bhajan, so with the strength, so it is related to that Yat Karoshi Yadasnochi, that one.
Oh, yeah. There are different levels, Prabhu. So 12.8 to 12.11, there are different levels of consciousness and different levels of qualification. So where you are, where somebody is, accordingly, they have to take one of that. So that is a little elaborate discussion. Smaranatmika, Abhyas, Mai, and other two. So maybe we can take it up in another time. But yeah, the spirit is, if you're attached to matter, first you practice detachment. If you're already detached, then practice bhajan. If you are now become perfected in bhajan, then you can go internal also. So it depends on our qualification. Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, for one who is, if you are already on the platform of Brahma Bhuruta Prasannatma, then you can even give up work. For them, work, for somebody who's a practitioner, all of us, sadhakas, work is the means. And for somebody who's perfected, renunciation of the same work is the means of advancement. So it depends on our qualification of our adhikar. So we are all sadhakas. So we all have to follow the vidhi of Shastra. So yes, it would be, internally what stage of advancement in bhakti someone is, we cannot really say. So it depends on your personal situation also.
So yeah, so as long as the bodily consciousness is traces of bodily consciousness is there, one should be in the Varnashrama, should be following Varnashrama.
Correct. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. Your session is
Okay.
so valued, and your class was so enjoyable, and at the same time deeply grounded in Guru Shastra, and it I mean it's so powerful. Please bless us with your association more in the future.
Sure, Prabhuji. So I'm happy and honored to serve. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, I got so many messages that he's a wonderful speaker. We love this class and such a wonderful association. So I got so many messages for you. So please give your.
I only came in as a substitute today on your order.
But now you have to be like regular speaker, Prabhuji. Whenever you have time, like I will connect you. But yes,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Where are you based, Prabhuji? Sorry, I missed that.
I am now in New York, but I am based in Govardhan Eco Village, Mumbai.
Okay, with Radhanath Swami's project.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
And you are from Delhi, right, Prabhuji?
I mean, my parents are from Delhi and Amritsar, yes.
Oh, Prabhuji, so nice of you. I'm also from Amritsar.
Oh, Haribol.
Haribol.
Yeah, good to connect.
Yeah, and I did graduation mechanical engineering from Delhi.
I also did mechanical engineering from Mumbai. Good, Prabhuji. I think we'll have further opportunity to connect in the coming weeks and months.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, please
so nice
come.
to connect all
If
of
you have time, Prabhuji, please come to DC again, and then we can have a sangha, like a personal program, and then everybody can meet you.
Yeah, we would
We'll
like
plan
to
for
host
something.
Prabhuji. Yeah, definitely.
So, Prabhuji, are you traveling with Radhanath Prabhuji, or you're on your own?
Maharaj, I was with Maharaj in Boston, but now I'm going back to India soon.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you. But
Krishna.
we'll be on next time. We'll see
Yeah.
whatever Krishna wills.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Let
For
Krishna,
the
us
Prabhuji.
to all
Thank you
the
for
way.
the wonderful class. Thank you.
Sorry,
Hare
Mother.
Krishna.
Hare
Vancha
Krishna.
Thank you. Hare
कल्पतरुभ्यो
Krishna.
वैवच पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय।
Jai.
आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
Jai.
Jai.
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथ
Jai.
भागवतम की जय।
Jai.
मोहन विलास प्रभु की जय।
Jai.
थैंक यू
Jai.
सो मच प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you.
Hare
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 Krishna.
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 Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Our humble request, please come back on the call.
Yes, Prabhuji. There are many
Okay.
devotees who are
We
from
would like,
Delhi.
Prabhuji, we would like to, yeah, please
I
go
think
ahead.
Prabhuji drop off. Yeah. Okay.
At least
But
once a month.
yeah, I will send him the request. Yeah, forward you your
Yeah,
request, Mataji.
we requested, we requested him.
Mataji, you have to arrange once a month.
Yes, yes, once a month.
Okay, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.